Good morning, everyone. We're officially one full month into 2021, and so far, is it looking any better than 2020? This is also around the time when people start falling off of their New Year's resolutions and start feeling bad about that. And we don't need any more bad vibes after the year we all had. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the small daily habits I've been doing to stay grounded and hopeful for the future. The first habit I picked up this year that has done wonders in helping me to stay positive is choosing an affirmation every day and writing it down at the top of my daily to-do list, which I do in Notion. I used to find affirmations super cringe until I read somewhere about the science behind them. So apparently, our brains don't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. So if you say an affirmation out loud and it feels super contrived at first, if you say it enough times, your brain will eventually believe that it's true, and you're pretty much reprogramming your brain to think more positive thoughts. So this has been a great way for me to counteract any anxious, negative, or self-sabotaging thoughts. We don't need any more of those in 2021. And my daily affirmation kickstarts the next habit I've implemented this year, which is actually something I'm doing constantly throughout the day, and you can't really tell I'm doing it because it's a mental habit, and that is compassionate self-talk. Negative self-talk is a chronic issue that I deal with, and I think everybody deals with this to some degree. You know, that voice in your head that's telling you how you're not smart enough, you're not doing enough, you can't do anything right. And some days I'm able to manage that critical voice better than other days. But this year I'm really cracking down on that voice, and I'm being super aware of when it comes up telling me I'm not whatever enough. And instead of believing that voice, I ask myself, would I ever tell my best friend that they can't do anything right? No? Okay, well, why is it okay to say that to myself? So throughout the day, I'm making sure I'm speaking to myself as kindly as I would to a good friend. And this is hands down the most important habit I'm implementing this year. A close second behind that, though, is I started doing just 10 minutes of movement every morning, and I don't know if a habit this small has ever made such a huge positive impact on my whole day. I swear, it wakes me up more than caffeine, and that's coming from a long-time caffeine addict. Lately, matcha has been my caffeine source of choice. I just find the ritual of making a cup of matcha so meditative and soothing, and it has become my brain's signal that it's time to get productive. So I've been using Notion for about a month now. I started in December of 2020 in preparation for 2021, knowing that some of my intentions were to be more productive and organized. And Notion has definitely helped me out a lot in sticking with those intentions. So I'll show you guys my daily setup. And you guys have seen a little bit of this already when we did our daily affirmations. So you'll see that at the top of the page. Underneath that, I have my top 3 action steps. And the reason I created this was, in the past, if I didn't get everything done on my to-do list by the end of the day, I would get very frustrated. So I started choosing just 3 things for me to do every day. And those are my top priorities, and anything else I get done on my to-do list, those are just bonuses, and they go in the section underneath that. And I make sure that the 3 priorities that I choose that day are very doable and don't take up too much time, so that prevents me from feeling that frustration at the end of the day. After that, we have our nightly reflection. So I started doing this on January 1st, 2021, and I'll just kind of write a really brief summary of how the day went, what happened that day, what my thoughts and feelings were, and we'll do that together at the end of the day, but we've got a whole day ahead of us first. And underneath that, I have my tasks for tomorrow section. And having this section has actually helped me to sleep a lot better, so that I'm not just lying there awake in my bed thinking about everything that I have to do the next day. I'll just do a quick task dump at the end of the day of anything that I have to do tomorrow, And then I go to bed knowing that I don't have to worry about forgetting anything because it was all written in my page from yesterday, and I just need to copy and paste it into the next day's page. So my top 3 action steps for today, obviously film this video, film daily habits video. I also have to do some research for my research class. So find articles. And I also need to do my summary notes from yesterday's class. And then I'll also go into yesterday's page and copy and paste the tasks for tomorrow's section from that day into today. But I'm not going to show you guys that because my nightly reflection is in there and it's probably really embarrassing. So I'll go ahead and do that off camera and I will see you guys later in the day. I also have class in like 10 minutes, so better get going for that. TBH, online class in the time of COVID has not always been awesome, but luckily I have the best profs ever and they make it all worthwhile.
Good morning. Good morning. Wake up. Wake up. I know you guys, some of you just got out of bed. I know it for a fact. 3 minutes ago, you jumped out of bed, fluffed your hair, and sat in front of this camera. Please tell me, I know it's true.
Normally, I'd eat lunch while watching a YouTube video or something, but I started realizing that when I did that, I wasn't tasting anything. So this year, I started listening to podcasts instead while eating so that I can give more attention to my food.
You may be noticing that with no limits on your work time, with your work and office becoming the same thing, you're going into overdrive and feeling more crazed than ever. Or you may be feeling like you have too much time and are bored out of your mind. Or you may be feeling both, depending on the day or the time of day.
So I just recently invested in a standing desk and I made the mistake of selling my current desk before that standing desk arrived. So now I am sat here at my coffee table on this meditation cushion doing my work. I like to switch around where I'm sitting throughout the day. I don't know how, but somehow it helps me to focus. So right now I'm gonna try to do a reading on cognitive behavioral therapy and take some notes as I go. So let's see how it goes. My focus has been a huge area of focus for me. I've tried things like the Pomodoro timer, the Freedom Internet Blocker, apps that lock you out of other apps, but the single most effective way I have found to increase my focus and productivity, ironically, is taking breaks. And lately, my favorite way to take a break has been to go for a walk. Okay, my brain is starting to feel pretty fried, so I'm gonna go outside for a walk. It's really sunny out today, which usually in the winter means it's cold, so I changed into my warmest sweater. Hopefully that helps protect me. Actually, wait, let's just... Oh, okay, now we're ready. Before COVID, I approached exercise with an all or nothing mindset. Either I went to an intense, hour-long workout class that totally kicked my butt, or it didn't count. But now that I'm spending more time at home and I'm not moving my body as much as before, I've realized how much all those little moments of movement in my day added up and made a huge difference. I used to just see walking as a means to get from point A to point B. I never walked for the sake of just walking, and it was only in 2021 that I discovered how beneficial walking is for my body and for my mind. So this year, I'm taking a new approach to movement and exercise and setting a non-negotiable daily habit of getting at least 1 hour of movement a day. And this doesn't all have to be done at once. I usually do some in the morning, afternoon, and evening, and it can include things like intense at-home workouts, but it can also include walking, stretching, vacuuming, just as long as I'm getting in my movement for the day.
I guess I've got some friends, but I don't really know. Someone asked me to hang out, instead I stayed at home. I can't talk to them, they can talk to me though. Afraid of intimacy, maybe that's my ego. It was my birthday the other day, I turned 21. I stayed inside of my room, didn't talk to anyone. It's kinda hard to explain. Am I participating, or am I simply a spectator who's just looking in?
Relationships have always been a top priority for me, but especially in lockdown, keeping in regular contact with the people I care about most has been a non-negotiable habit for me, and it's often the highlight of my day.
Ooh, wait, where's that from?
Yoga is pretty much guaranteed to be part of my 1 hour of daily movement. I still have a long way to go with my yoga skills, but yoga has become so central to my life that I'll feel off if I didn't do yoga that day. I started doing yoga regularly maybe 4 years ago, and looking back, I can see that doing yoga regularly created a very clear before and after in my life. It made me realize that I had been breathing wrong my whole life. Like, I had been breathing really shallow, like from my throat, when you're supposed to be breathing from your like mid-torso area or your diaphragm. And when I discovered that all I need to do to manage stress and anxiety is to just breathe, that completely changed the game for me. And speaking of breathing, the next habit I'm getting serious about in 2021 is meditation. And I like stacking my meditation with my daily yoga so that I'm more likely to do it. So, meditation and we have a pretty on and off relationship. It's just one of those habits that I find really hard to stay consistent with. But I did recently complete the 21-day New Year's challenge on the 10% Happier app, which I'm pretty proud of myself for, not gonna lie. And I still have some momentum going from that, so I'm gonna do a quick guided meditation now. I definitely struggle to find the motivation to meditate regularly, even though I know how good it is for me, and even though it does usually make me feel better. But something that helps keep me motivated is that concept of compounding effects from Atomic Habits by James Clear. I just remind myself that even though meditating every day doesn't always feel like it's making much of a difference in the short term, I'm actually just building up stored potential. And eventually I'll hit a breaking point, and all those times I sat down to meditate will pay off over the long term. All right, I feel cleansed. Let's get ready for bed. Once I get into bed, I'll fill out my nightly reflection in Notion. I found that doing a nightly reflection on the events of that day and my thoughts and feelings has helped to create some distinction between the days. Especially in lockdown, it's so easy for all the days to just blend together. So writing down some memories every day has helped me to restore some of my sense of time. And then I'll fill out what I like to call my check-in journal. And this is where I write down one highlight of the day, 3 things I'm grateful for, 3 things I did well that day, sticking with that compassionate self-talk habit, and 1 thing to do tomorrow that'll make tomorrow a win. And doing this every night has helped me to stay positive and remind myself that even though winter and lockdown really sucks, there are still lots of things to be grateful for and lots of things to look forward to. And that is it for this video. Thank you for coming along with me in a day of trying to stay healthy, productive, and sane in lockdown. Let me know in the comments what habits you're starting this year, and I'll see you next time. Until then, stay healthy and stay safe.